Hey everybody, it's Pat from Seattle Coffee Gear, and I'm here today with Ariel to do a tasting of our roast of the month for the month of May. How's it going, Ariel?
Wow, it's going all right. How about you, Pat?
I'm doing pretty well, pretty well. We haven't had you, have we, do we ever have you on one of these when we were doing them in the studio? I can't remember for sure.
This is my first one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know why we didn't get you on them sooner, but I'm really excited to have you here for this one.
I'm
Um,
excited to be here.
Yeah, so this month's coffee is going to be Peru Eli Espinoza from Camber. This is a washed coffee that just kind of hit all the right notes for me. And, this currently I wouldn't say we're in a drought of good coffee or anything, but I've been looking at like trying to get some origins that we don't feature as often for roast of the month featured and stuff. And this one just was like a nice combination of an origin that I'm not like super familiar with, and a roaster who's really great, and just a really good coffee.
I don't, it's been a while since we've a coffee from Peru. I can't actually remember the last time we had one.
Yeah, I want to say there's been a couple this year, but I haven't noted any of them quite like this one. And it's an interesting region for me because I always tend to like coffee from Peru when I have it, but I don't
Mhm.
have the palate for like I don't like taste a coffee from Peru and immediately go, oh, that's a Peru, like I do with Ethiopia's or Colombia's, or even like um, coffees from Mexico usually are pretty they're fairly distinctive to my palate, but that's not
Yeah.
usually the case as much the case with coffees from Peru.
Peru's I don't know, the last time I had a Peruvian coffee, it was before I was working here. They usually have tasting notes of like apple is pretty common, and
Yeah.
they usually have like a dry kind of mouth feel to them. So they're interesting for sure.
Yeah, and you get some of that here, definitely. The notes
Mhm.
that Camber lists are orange blossom, brown sugar, and plum, and I can definitely see where they're coming from. Um,
Yeah.
I think there is a little bit of sweetness that you get that sort of has that brown sugar thing going on. There's a bit of a plum. Generally, I think that the flavors are a little on the mild side, but not in a bad way.
Hmm.
I think that it makes it really drinkable. I also think this is a pretty adaptable coffee and different brew methods. Like I'm drinking a pour over today, and it's pretty good. And I think you said you were drinking it from a drip brewer, right?
Yes, I've got the Mocha Master KBG 741.
Cool. Yeah,
And it's pretty good. Mine's got a lot more of like the orange blossom when it's brewed that way. So it's a lot more
that makes sense.
floral when it's made on drip.
Yeah, and it's a nice orange blossom's a good way to put it because it's a nice sort of like floral citrus thing. It's not too
Hmm.
it's not too bright, but it still has that kind of thing going on. I would definitely say this is like on the lighter end of medium, but it isn't all the way into like a super light coffee or
Yeah.
anything. So if you're opposed to the more bright flavor profiles, I think you'll still be okay here, because it's still definitely what I would call a medium.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's really good. It's the story behind it is pretty interesting. The It's named for the farmer Eli Espinoza,
Hmm.
who owns the 4 hectare farm in Cajamarca, and the his story is kind of cool because he originally started working in the region as a picker with the kind of goal of eventually opening a farm, and then over time made enough money to be able to purchase farmland and a home and stuff in the region and start producing this coffee. So
Yeah.
it's fun to hear stories like that about farmers who kind of do it from the ground up and build their kind of their business
Mhm.
with their own hands and everything. I like hearing about that.
Yeah, and looks like he also took eighth place in the 2020 Peru Cup of Excellence, which is
Yep.
pretty amazing.
Yes, definitely. And I think that just goes to show like the growth of his coffee program over time. This isn't the first coffee I've had from this farm. I don't think. I believe I've seen this name before on a Peruvian coffee, and it's been good before. But this is definitely the best. I think this is probably the best Peru that I've had in a while. Um, Maybe not ever, but certainly in the last that I can think of in the last few months of 2021 at least.
Mhm.
And it's quite good. Camber kind of lists some additional notes of lime, baking spice, strawberry, so a little bit more diversity there on sort of the citrus side of things and the baking side of
Mhm.
things, which I think is true, or I could see as well.
Yeah, I think it almost kind of like that floral note. It's not all orange blossom. Like I think it would be really good if you did like a cold brew cocktail and then maybe added like a splash of Saint Germain. I
Yeah,
think that would just really
exactly.
make it pop.
Right as you were about to say that, I had almost the same thought. So yeah, I think that would be really, really good.
Like a
And
cold brew French 75.
yes, and I think just generally as a cold brew, this one would work pretty well, which is kind of good timing for it as the weather warms up in a lot of parts of
Mhm.
the U.S. at least. So yeah. So unless you have any other thoughts on this coffee, I think that'll do it for this entry into our roast of the month.
No, I actually like this one, so
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
it's quite good.
just enjoying it. This is my first coffee of the day. So,
Well,
yay.
obviously we hope that you grab a bag of it as always with these single origins. Get it while you can because it won't be around forever, and we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit the like button and get subscribed for more videos like this in the future, and let us know your thoughts about this coffee if you give it a try in the comments. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.